there's only one mantra that you all need to know. That's that one over there. See Todd, bye Todd.
West Coast Wednesday. It's time for chat and chill. Hi, everybody. Welcome to West Coast Wednesday. I'll take that off the screen just for now. We'll come back to that because you can't just let gold sit untouched. I want to say hello. Good evening to everybody. We'll get started by saying hello to the people in the chat. Good evening. Hello from the beautiful country. I can't do a New Zealand accent. I'm not going to try. Sean Fisher, my brother. Safe travels. He's been in Kiwi land for the last couple of weeks or whatever. And I hope you had a great vacation. Thank you for sharing what you did with me. Sexy time. I mean, in private with photos. He was sending me some really nice photos from New Zealand. I hope you have a safe journey back. Derek Neiman's in the house. The Pope of the Saint of David, Tyler Davis, is in the house. What up? Tyler laying down just a little bit of the, let's be respectful. Although I'm allowed to be disrespectful to myself. Let's just say that. Amato waves hello. Hello, Captain. Yes. Yes, and I did tell, we'll talk about the Liam Finn interview. We'll talk about the podcast. Kev McGee returns. Kev McGee, how the hell are you? Joshua's in the house. Yeah, of course it is, Tyler. Why is Todd hanging out in his closet? The reason why he was in his closet during the interview, he was taking care of his dad, and his dad was sleeping, so he had to go to a quiet place, not the movie. But that's why. I just didn't put that part in the interview because I didn't think it was relevant to the general public, But I think his dad took a fall or something like that, so he was taking care of him. Yeah, I saw that too, Josh. I just wanted to see if he was in the comic community. No, he didn't reply. I mean, it's probably better off he didn't reply because, like, what's the reply gonna be, right? What up, Matt? Yeah, exactly. Brian's in the house. What up? Hey, can you tell me how much you paid for the last 13 collections you bought? I don't know why you hide the fact that you overpay for everything in loose money. Yeah. Exactly. Derek Strom's in the house. What's up? Sam McClurg in the house. Did I pick up anything from Mr. Rugg at his art sale? No, I did not. Ever since OAX, I actually haven't bought anything other than 1 or 2 commissions. I'm trying to be a little bit better right now with art because I went crazy and bought a lot. Yeah, it has. I mean, I've been getting sun, and I try to go for an hour or so walk every day. So I'm just trying to make sure that I'm outside a bunch. Because it sure is nice out today in 80 degrees sunny Washington. Oh, no. Yeah, no. Okay, so if you didn't see, a comment was left on the video that I dropped this weekend of the garage sale. And it's funny because when I had bought this collection and I was going through it, I realized after I recorded it that I forgot to say how much I paid for the collection. Which sometimes I do and sometimes I don't, which is absolutely my prerogative. I think anybody that watches this channel and sees the bi-weekly sales knows that if I was losing money, I would be fucking poor. I wouldn't be living in a house and paying my bills. I'm not, so anyway, Josh, so anyway, I realized I had forgotten to say that what I paid for the collection, because I generally do. I don't mind, because I also want people to know, in full disclosure, like, you have to be able to make a bunch of money to pay for collections. Like, you can't just, I'm not, and so, I want people to know that not everybody can do this. Unless you're doing it 24/7 and like that's what you do. So I forgot to put the collection price. So I was like, oh, you know what? I'll just put it in the title. And then we get this comment. And this comment is it's kind of like baffling, because if it was pure trolling, it's like the worst troll job I've ever seen. And it's a medium where you're supposed to read words and the marriage of words and pictures. And you that means you looked at this video for 20 minutes and didn't actually look at the video. So anyway, I want to say thank you to him because between posting this on Instagram, I made a TikTok about it, and we're talking about it now. It's made us all laugh. And that's one of the most joyous things, if not the most joyous thing for me about having this YouTube channel, is being able to talk about comics and also be a goofball. So thank you to the 4 Deadly Venoms. Anyway, we're not going to base the whole show on that, but I just want to say that. That's awesome, Sam. I'm excited to see which ones they are. There's a cover that Jim and I talked about last year that I want to buy, and I'm going to ask him again this year, and we'll see if we can come to a price on it. Well, Josh, the thing is, keep thinking that. You stay away. Yeah, Amato, I used to, when I lived in Seattle proper, I'd walk everywhere. I didn't own a car, but when I moved out to Tacoma, I had to get a car because I just wouldn't be able to do what I do. I would be in a van down by the river, actually. In a van. Yeah, I can't do it, Chris Farley. I love Chris Farley. I miss Chris Farley dearly. Simon, thank you. Yeah, the same weekend, which was 2 weeks ago, the next day I bought a huge collection, and I'm in the process of still editing that. But that video won't be out for a couple weeks. There's a big one coming out this weekend that a lot of you know about. So, yes, I talked to them. I was at that sale for like an hour talking to them and, loading all the comics up and negotiating with them. So, very friendly people. Hey, Marco's in the house. What's up, brother? I demand that you tell me your monthly water bill you're never... Seriously, right? Hey, Rob McKellum's in the house. A Scottish friend. 49 Felix in the house. Snoop Dogg. Dog. I tried to stay to an art collection opposed to buying single art pieces. That being said, Jim Rugg does have a free download of a bunch of his art on Patreon. Yeah, I'm on his Patreon, and he's done the zines and the, he's got so much art. His ballpoint. I mean, I have you guys. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but when I bought that piece from Jim at Heroes last year, I also snagged this ballpoint Street Angel piece, which, I mean, his ballpoint stuff is so impressive. It's super special, and I want more of it. And Jim knows that I would spend a lot of money if I had an unlimited amount and I'm buying art from him. Oh, nice. That's a hefty, great collection to pick up. So you get your first Kingpin, a whole bunch of great first appearances, Matt Gargan, Black Cat, Punisher, a bunch of others. Great. Oh, thanks, Sean. Yeah, I wanted to always try them, and I feel like I'm comfortable with them now. By the way, let's give props to the greatest Star Wars character of all time. But yes, so let's talk about what's coming this weekend. Something that I recorded yesterday, which is an interview with Stan Sakai. Oh my God. I was nervous because I'm nervous about everything. I have really bad anxiety, but once I get into it, I'm usually fine. We talked a lot. We talked about a lot of different things. He told some great stories. You're going to hear tons of fun anecdotes and some really interesting stuff about him. And I will say this, and I'm giving the 30 people watching a little insider information that you'll hear in the video, but I didn't split up the interview. I did what would be considered a full-length interview with him. And then we recorded an additional about 20 minutes. And that 20 minutes is going to be on a direct edition episode next season, which is going to start next month. The third season ends this coming Monday with an interview with the other Davenger, Dave Correa. And then the Stan Sakai interview drops on West Coast Davengers this weekend. And then in a couple weeks, like a month or so, you're going to hear an additional 20 minutes on direct edition. Maybe it's a ploy to get more people to subscribe to the podcast. Well, also just to spread it out, spread the love. It was awesome, Sean. It was awesome. He's such a great guy. He has so. What about Jet Porkins? Jet Porkins. Yeah, Jimmy stuff. The ballpoint stuff is amazing. So yeah, Sakai's amazing. He's obviously been doing this for 40 plus years. He's got a great family. Like, his family history is very interesting. The research he does for Usagi, the fact that he owns the IP and he, has drawn every page and lettered every page, and it's just amazing. Hey, what up, Evgeny? Life is good, Life is good. It's busy. The title of this stream tonight is just saying, buying comic collections is whatever I wrote. Full-time gig. I don't not work. I'm always working. Oh, Glub Shido is another fantastic Star Wars character. I like to think that one day Dave will buy your collection, which is mostly stuff I bought from me to begin with, and then Dave can. Somebody actually had wanted to sell me back a collection, which a lot of the stuff I bought from, but I can't buy stuff that's going to put me at a loss, or even really, unless it's like marquee stuff. I can always buy a collection with marquee stuff that's that at least break even and make a little profit. Who do you think is the worst Spider-Man villain? I don't know, man. I'd have to give that some thought. I like the Sinister Six. I think that Marco Flint, Sandman, is a terrible villain, but a great character, if that makes sense. Like, oh, he's Sand. But he's a great character. He's got a really heartfelt story. Yeah, I don't have much experience with Chameleon, just that one ASM Todd issue that I have a page from, but that's, I think, the only time really I can think I read a Chameleon storyline. Hammerhead's, yeah, pretty bad, but yes, well, he is the boy. He's not he's the Ballpoint Slayer. By the way, Jim Mafood is probably still live on his YouTube channel with Jazzy Jamie Wood, going through his autobio comics right now. I hate sand. It gets everywhere. I agree, except I do love characters that have been to sand planets. So I did tease something on the community posts today, as well as Instagram. I'm going to be doing, Keaton's Vulture is far better than the Vulture that we know from the comics. I will say that. Claim Dave. Oh, Brady's gonna claim me. All right, claimed. Time to go to Idaho. So I teased this on the stories today, and I teased this in the community posts. I'm gonna be doing a giveaway for the Todd McFarlane Amazing Spider-Man. Well, Secret Wars Spider-Man, black suit, jazz hands. Woo! I just picked this up from Stargazer, my LCS today, and I'm gonna be doing a giveaway. All right, there. I don't know what's going on. I think it's a StreamYard problem. I have not been having internet problems all day until now. So I think it's a StreamYard thing. I have not played the Spider-Man games on... Oh, yeah, on PlayStation 5. Yes, they're fucking awesome. The last Spider-Man game, Spider-Man 2, I've said it on the stream before. I've said it to friends. I think it's the best Spider-Man story ever put to anything. Comic, movie, anything. It's the best Spider-Man story, is that second Spider-Man game. So I'll do probably a post about this on how, but you guys are going to find out first. My road to 8,000 subscribers, we're about 300, a little less than 300 away. 8,000 subscribers on this YouTube channel, Secret Wars 8. I thought it would be a fun thing to do. Here's how you enter. You can enter up to, I guess, technically 4 times. You, whenever you're watching the next video or you watch an old video, put your comment and then use the hashtag with the comment, Jazz Hands. So the next video, the Stan Sakai, whatever you're going to comment, and then hashtag Jazz Hands or Direct Edition. Now, if you comment on something on West Coast Davengers with the hashtag Jazz Hands, and then you comment on Direct Edition with the hashtag Jazz Hands, you're going to get 2 entries. If you post, promote my channel anywhere else other than in the comment section. You send me a screenshot of that, whether it's on Instagram or, just to my DMs, anywhere. That'll be an additional. And then make a post about it on Instagram. Every time you post about it in a different platform, or you use the hashtag in a comment, Jazz Hands, you'll get an entry. I'm going to keep a little logbook, and then when we hit 8,000 subscribers, boom, I'm going to do the giveaway live. Now, if you just leave the hashtag Jazz Hands, no, you got to leave a comment. So this is why, and I'm going to explain to you real quick, but first we'll take a look at the comments. I like the first game more than the second. Nah, man, Tyler, you're wrong. I'm just going to say you're wrong. I watched your last collection pickup, and I couldn't help but notice you skip over some Nightwing books. I'm sorry. I mean, yeah, I'm not a Nightwing hater. I've just never been a Nightwing fan. I wish they let you run around as Venom more, but yeah, that was badass. Just the way that story develops is so good. No, Travis, Travis didn't listen. Clearly. Different Hammerhead, yes. Jazz Hands under direct edition or West Coast. There you go. See. There you go. So you can enter, technically you can enter a whole bunch of times. If you post it on one of my videos on Reddit, and you send me a screenshot, boom. You post it on Instagram, send me a screenshot, boom, another entry. Facebook, but with the comments, you can only enter once on each channel. I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers on direct edition. So it's a giveaway. It's to get to a number, but it's also just a giveaway. And look, as much as how about this? If you're international, instead of making me spend $50 to ship this, I will find a comic book that's awesome like this. And if you happen to win and you're in Canada or you're wherever, I'll ship you an alternate prize that's equally as awesome as this. So that's how I'm going to do the giveaway for this. I'm going to put this in the back. It's still in frame, even if my head is completely blocking it. There we go. Jazz Hands. Woo! Checking out Bruno Redondo's work on Nightwing. I've never heard of Bruno Redondo. Trying to get a friend to start collecting back issues. I figure Marvel Comics Presents wouldn't be a bad collection to start them. For a big Wolverine fan, you couldn't go wrong with that. You only run into one expensive book. Honestly, it's just Weapon X. It's issue number 72. But yeah, 1 through 100 plus is all Wolverine, if not more. Then you get into the Sam Keith era, and those are fantastic. There's a couple Eric Larson issues that are Wolverine Spider-Man story. Yeah, there's some great stuff in Marvel Comics Presents, and it won't break the bank. Can I wheat paste a screenshot of it somewhere? Physical, Derek, if you wheat paste anything of my channel or my logo, yes, you get 5 entries for a wheat paste. Hey, what's up, Mark? Yes. Oh, Canadian. See, yeah. I don't want to limit my giveaways to the US, but something like that, if I ship that internationally, it's going to cost me more than what I paid to buy that. Regardless of the giveaway, just promote Dave. We love Dave. Thank you. I appreciate it. And direct edition is super important to me. Liam Finn was my guest this week, who is a Australian-born New Zealand musician, the son of Neil Finn and nephew of Tim Finn. Neil Finn, the lead singer, the founder of Crowded House. But Liam is somebody I know through because he opened up Eddie Vedder's first 2 solo tours, and he's played with Pearl Jam a bunch, but his solo career is amazing. And he plays everything. Like his live show is him looping guitar or drums and then playing the other thing. Can I get it equivalent? And Mark, I don't see why I can't do that. I actually had a bagel today. Next week is the season finale, as I said earlier. The season finale of Direct Edition. I sat down with the other Davenger, Dave Correa, who I've never truly interviewed him. And it was more of a chat, but Dave's artistic skills and insight and all of the stuff that he's done in his career is fascinating to me as a friend and a fan. And then I wanted to take a month break, but I'm not going to be able to because I had scheduled an interview to drop on June 21st or something like that, like the week after the Monday after Heroes, and that's with Alice Darrow, and her new book comes out that week, Tramps of the Apocalypse from Dark Horse, and I've read it and it's hilarious. So, you know, nonstop train, right? Nonstop train. I'm sure once the Sakai interview comes out, I'll be able to get a few. Well, the Sakai interview is going to come out on this channel because I really, as much as I wanted to keep all of the interviews on direct edition, somebody like Stan Sakai needs a lot of people to see that interview. And there's, close to 8,000 people on this channel. So, whereas opposed to direct edition, cross platforms between Spotify, Apple, and YouTube is approaching like 600-700 subscribers. And I'm sure there are people that subscribe on both, where Davengers is the only place to subscribe is on this YouTube channel. But I am trying to build up direct edition so that I can just move all the interviews over there. That's the idea. The worst Batman villain is the ventriloquist in Scarface. Yeah, it's a weird ass villain. I always thought that. I hope they play Metallica's Battery. Good evening, my friend Adrian. The Canadian bloodsucker. Outer Worlds Comics, hello. Why not put it on both? Well, that's why I said earlier tonight, Travis, before you came in. The Sakai interview that drops on this channel this weekend is an hour. But we shot an additional 20 or so minutes. That's going to be on a separate direct edition episode. Excuse me. Is there any books out right now? Well, hey, Sam, I'm glad you asked that. Let's look at some comic booklets. Whee! All right. Let's take a look. Condiment Man. Is that that's not a real thing, is it? Maybe it is. Mattis is in the house. Is there anyone else you've been eyeing, inspiring to interview? Hey, well, I can tell you there are some people that I got preliminary responses from that I want on the channel, like Trad Moore, and definitely going to have Sanford Green back on once his schedule is a little bit less hectic. Musician named Bartiz Strange, who I'm hoping to get on. I mean, I could tell you all the people I've reached out to, but I haven't heard back from a lot of them. And, it's just going to take time, and it takes the right moment for a lot of different people. I will say this for comics. I don't see why anybody would say no at this point. Like, I'm not going to sit here and toot my own horn too much, but when it comes to people in the comic community that know how to do interviews, there's not too many people that can actually break it down like I do. You're fantastic, Travis. Hey, what's up, Gabe? Oh, it's an animated series villain. Okay. Paste Pod Pete. No, you can't. Like, people that love comics will flay you. They will slice you open from end to end if you mock Paste Pod Pete. Okay, so yeah, thanks, Travis. Let's take a look at this. So this was John Coates and his brother James did this book. Now, if you're familiar with Fletcher Hanks, it was a cartoonist back in, I think the 40s, the 30s. He did this character called Stardust. I only remember the kayfabe video, and I think Chris Comic Tropes did a video on Fletcher Hanks, and it was like this weird ass thing that Fletcher Hanks did. And it was only in 17 stories, 15 by Hanks, and it's like just kind of went into obscurity in the history books. But the Coates brothers sent this to me, and this is a family fun comics. I can't really show, like, I mean, like, this is this is a outlaw comic, bloody, disgusting, hilarious, funny, irreverent. And yeah, the Coates brothers did a real good job of a great violent what the fuck storyline. So you can find them through Cosmic Lion, which is Eli, oh my God, I almost just said Eli Roth, Eli Schwab's imprint and publishing label. A lot of friends are on that label: Adam Lemna and Morgan Herron, and oh man, I'm putting myself on the spot. Anyway, Cosmic Lion friends, I'll see them at Heroes, but you could pick this up from them or just follow them on Instagram, on socials, the Coates Brothers. Let's see, that should be in here somewhere. Well, either way, you can find it by Cosmic Lion Family Fun. So I want to say thank you to them for sending me that. This is not a new comic. We'll look at that in a second. But speaking of friend of the channel, Sanford Green, the new issue of Bitterroot came out today, which is a fantastic series. Marco, yeah, Eli Roth's adaptation of Family Fun comics would be hilarious. Bitterroot 3, the next movement came out. Look, if you didn't listen to my Sanford Green interview, you should. Okay, Bitterroot's a fantastic comic series by Chuck Brown, David F. Walker, and Sanford. And here's something we like to do. We talk about movies. I talk about movies a lot. If you like Sinners, you should read this, because you can tell that a lot of the inspiration for that movie is found in some of the themes and a lot of this book. Ryan Coogler is trying to get this made into a movie with Regina King as director. And I feel like Sinners was him saying, look, here's this thing, and now I want to do this thing. It's as good, if not better. So, and Absolute Wonder Woman #7 came out today, and that's Sanford's variant cover. And I did not read Bitterroot yet. I sat down and read this. Bitterroot, actually, there's more to digest in that book, so I like to take my time with reading it. Whereas this, even though there's a lot to digest, it's a quicker read. So that's Sanford's variant cover on that. I don't know if Andrew's in here, but Andrew, if you're in here, this is the book I was telling you about on the phone today. You have the ultimate. Well, Todd did it exactly. That's the thing. Like, if Todd McFarlane happily comes on this channel and does 90 minutes, like, there's no excuse for anybody else. Exactly. See, I told you, Tyler. Happy owner Bitterroot. Yeah, that hardcover's fantastic. See? Yeah, by definition, yeah. All right, Travis will be right back. So why don't we just no, I'm not taking a break. So I thought it would be fun to flip through some cool stuff tonight. But I was telling our friend, Mr. Andrew P, on the phone today that I found a book in the most recent collection that I got, which I am slowly trying to sort through. It was like 5,000 Bronze Age books. And one of them was this Kung Fu Fighter. I got a whole run of this. But I was opening up what I've been doing, which is kind of a crazy thing to think about. But all of these thousands of books, I'm actually flipping over open the front cover before I sort them to see if anything is signed on the interior front cover, front first page, and to see if anything's a double cover. This is prime era for double cover stuff. And so I opened this up to find out that this one issue of Kung Fu Fighter, Richard Dragon, was penciled by the king, Jack Kirby. It does. Tyler, if you saw all of the books that I have flipped through since I got this collection, yeah, it's that like crazy, great advertising. Like some of the art's just amazing. A lot of books that you don't know exist. I'm finding a lot of Ditko books that I never knew existed, and a Walt Simonson run of something that I never knew. So yeah, and in line with that is this Claws of the Dragon, penciled by the king, Jack Kirby. And I've never seen this book before. I didn't even know that it existed with Kirby art. And so I thought it would just be fun to, take a look of what's in here. And, very standard grid, 6-panel grid on a lot of these pages. So it's not Jack going full Jack, but there's still some good faces in here. Speaking of, still have copies of the Many Faces of Jack Kirby. Mostly just volume 2. I think I have 1 or 2 copies of volume 1 for sale. There's Count Dante, the deadliest man alive. Kayfabe did an episode on that. By the way, I was talking to Andrew on the phone about fandom and like talking about the fanzine aspect. We talk about that stuff a lot. And I'm giving myself the new moniker of the official verbal archivist or archivist of Cartoonist Kayfabe, because I've got a voice and I can record stuff. Anyway, that's just me being silly. So yeah, I thought that was pretty fun to flip through, and just a little hidden gem. We'll look at this in a second. Let's see what. No, not at all. Not at all. I can't. I'm only one person. For me to put anything into a database would be the end of my job, because I'd be wasting too much time doing that. I need to process and sell and process and sell and figure out, that aspect of it. Oh yeah, see, there you go, Andrew. So it was this book. It was Kung Fu Fighter issue number 3. That's just randomly penciled by Kirby. Steven Seagal is one of the biggest pieces of shit alive, but his early movies kick ass. Hard to Kill, Out for Justice, Above the Law, Under Siege. There's like 2 or 3 others that kick ass. So I think I had shown a copy of this off maybe when I got back from Japan, but I think I sold a copy of this. Maybe Tyler got it. And I just picked up another copy from Sean a couple weeks ago. Big shout out to the homie, Japan Book Hunter Sean. If you're looking for anything from Japan, he probably sells it. Yeah. And he's a trader. He's a trader. Thank you. Yes, I thought that was you that bought it, Tyler. Seagal's bullshito can't be topped. No, Under Siege 2 was on a train, right? That was shit. What was his name? Eric Bogosian was the bad guy in that movie. So yeah, I think I might have flipped through it. You guys are gonna see a Godzilla thing that I've never shown before though. Hold on one sec. Just carefully unplug this. There we go. Get that. Can't really do too much about the glare. But yeah, this is look at this Ralph McQuarrie stuff in here. Man, I feel like I'm about to quote Richard Patrick from Filter, but I wish I would have met him. Now it's a little too late. Yeah, this thing's cool. This poster, like I've never seen this in America, this poster before. And then this weird green like production art thing. Yes. You know it's funny. I need Sean contact. What? Yes. And Eric Alionic, we all love. And the other thing about Under Siege, and you can map this out, that movie gives us that, now 30-year marquee career of Tommy Lee Jones. Nobody in the mainstream really knew who he was. Like, it wasn't as big of a propeller as Travolta got, because Travolta was a huge star before Pulp Fiction came out and then wasn't a star. But after Under Siege, you get Tommy Lee Jones in all these great movies, including The Fugitive and I guess Batman Forever. Sean, JapanBookHunter.com. That's how you get in touch with him. Yes, it is, Andy. So this is just a fun magazine. I don't know, I might sell this one. So it's a science fiction magazine too, but it goes with a lot of Star Wars stuff. And I think this came out around when Star Wars came out, maybe like a year. Because the first one that I got, I was with Aki and we were at Mandarake and I pulled it right off the shelf. Look at this piece of art. So dope. I mean, Why does everything in America have to pale in comparison to all the things that the Japanese put out? Everything. Like, if this was a issue of Starlog, we wouldn't see cool art. We'd see a bunch of photos from the movie. Greatest movie of all time. Tyler, shut up. But why did everything... This is true. Yeah, they don't last long. You can join his Patreon and get some early edition. Here's the thing with Sean, and he'll tell you this himself. If you're a customer of Sean's, like you buy once or twice from him, and then you reach out to him and say, hey, I'm looking for this, or I'm looking for that. He'll, as long as you've spent money with him, much like me, he'll hunt stuff for you. But you got to be a customer to, well, Travis, before you contact him, let me know what you're looking for if I have it. And then if I don't, Sean can get it. Listen, B Paul. Terminator 2, I would say top 10. Jaws, greatest movie of all time. Holiday threw me off. Forgot it was West Coast Wednesday. Speaking of our good friend Daryl, Daryl's been putting forth some good videos, but I will be recording some stuff with Daryl in a couple weeks for a certain big tentpole Marvel movie that's coming out this summer. But if you are not subscribed to Read Your Comics, I would put Daryl's channel as one of my favorite comic book channels. I mean, it is. I mean, I think him and, Kayfabe is, we don't get any new videos. That's all timer. But between Daryl and his insight and going through comics, and, I just love it. I love it. Oh, awesome. Awesome. Give me one sec. I just, all right. So yeah, this has, some other science fiction stuff in here. Some other movies, 2001 Space Odyssey. Look at that. Some pulp stuff. Check out these schematics of R2 and C-3PO. Okay, that makes sense, Travis. I understand that. And then there's this poster, which is not a Star Wars poster, but it's a message from space poster. I'll give you a message from space. Binding on this is a little weak at the knees. But yeah. And then there's another Star Wars poster in here. C-3PO and R2. So yeah. And then that's probably what's his name? Who did that? No, that's Hildebrandt. That's the Hildebrandt. Okay. So I have not shown this off on the channel. I don't believe I did. This is something I bought without knowing what was inside. I was just like, okay, it's awesome. It's a Godzilla book. It's got this great design. It's got the back cover design. So I was like, this thing's thick. I was like, all right, fuck it, I'm going to buy it. You know what, Tyler, I bought this with the intention to sell it until I look through it. I'm going to try and find more of these, but fuck if I know what the name of it is. So it's this one artist, and I follow him on Instagram. I can't remember his name, but he's a production artist. He's been working for Toho for a long time. And this is like his sketchbook. And it's so dope. I mean, it's so dope. You would think, oh, maybe you're gonna get the same style of Godzilla, but you look through it and you get other kaiju, you get Mothra, you get Mechagodzilla and all that. But yeah, I mean, I if this guy is at Tokyo Comic Con or Japan Art Expo this year, and I'm there, like I'm buying as much art as I can find on this. Originals, like his stuff is just beautiful. Like it's perfect for just standalone art, but when you think about like character design, I mean, it's flawless. Berlante. I think HBO just put on like a whole bunch of the older and some obscure Godzilla films, because I was talking to Sean Crystal about it, and I need to sit down one day and just while I'm working, put on a bunch of Godzilla movies, because there is a whole bunch I have not seen. Honestly, I've seen a lot less than, I've probably only seen like 10 different Godzilla films. But yeah, this is I mean, like, this is almost like an artist edition without being, published comic art. This one's so badass. Yeah, I realized yeah, okay, so it's got all of them, which is like 35 or so. Um but this art book is just fantastic, and it's like, I thought it would be fun for y'all to see it, because who knows, the thing is with the Japanese stuff, right? There's nowhere, like, unless you know the name of it and it's newer, it's very much like finding out of print hardcovers, or hard to find indie comics in the States, because it's the one thing that, if you ever watch my first interview with Sean, and he talked about how, like, space is a premium in Tokyo and in Japan in general. So not a lot of people save stuff. They don't have the room for it. Let's take a look at the yeah, this is a fun ass book. Yeah, all of the art in this book is fantastic. Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course, Tyler. Yeah, I sometimes I struggle to find, like, with these chat and chill shows, of like what I should do, besides updating on what's going on. And I was like, you know what, I haven't shared this yet, so let's take a look at it. There's a bunch of stuff, actually. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff that I showed off on the channel very early on, when the subscribers weren't a lot, when the live chats didn't get a lot of people, and I'll probably start cycling back through it, like a bunch of artist editions, and just random rare magazines and weird stuff I have. Yeah. Yeah, like you said, Gabe, the figure work's amazing. Godzilla wants, that's is that Godzilla versus Charles Barkley Godzilla? Yeah, and it looks like most of this is done, like, some watercolor, maybe some charcoal. Um, but yeah, it all looks very much, kind of basic tools on here. It's not a ton of noodling or pen work or whatever. Andy, it's funny. I almost, but I didn't want to take a chance of fucking anything up. I almost grabbed the Albedo 2 that I had and flipped through that, but I don't know if I should flip through a $3,000 comic or whatever. What up, Mark? Yeah, this one's cool. I really like this one. Hey, there he is. Mr. Doctor's in the house. We got the two men, the friends, Mark and Dr. Jacob, or Mr. Doctor. Whoa, did you say famine? uh, depending on how many people are in here, like, after I'm kind of winding down the show, we might take a peek to an episode or two of something. Godzilla or Optimus from that one DWJ cover where he's, yes, yeah, oh yeah, DWJ baby. Oh yeah, sure, yeah, I'll just send it to you. Awesome, Travis, appreciate you, man. Have a great night. Jerome, I know, and I know you would enjoy this. So yeah, this, well, I mean, the thing is, like, I always liked Godzilla, but for Americans, we had the Roland Emmerich, whatever that was, which it had its place. It's fun, stupid shit. First Godzilla I saw was 84 or 85, I forget what year that title is. But -1 really reignited my love for Godzilla. And because we're getting a ton more of Godzilla stuff in this country now, which is great, I think looking at the stuff that's from Japan makes it even more special. Yeah, look at that one. Whew. Oh shit. Look at the look on Godzilla's face. Ah shit. Not enough Godzilla content has come out lately. Well, that's the thing, right? We get, Marvel's doing all the stuff, but I like looking at this kind of stuff. The Roland movie both has groundbreaking special effects and the worst. But what it does have is some great songs on that soundtrack, namely Foo Fighters. The Green Day remix is kind of weird. Wallflowers is good. I'm not sure about the. Well, we all know that we should not be talking about Sean Combs anymore in a positive light. But that song was kind of weird anyway. But I do love the Green Day Brain Stew remix. It's like, oh, how are we going to remix this song for the soundtrack? I don't know, just put Godzilla roars in it. I feel like there's another couple of good songs on that soundtrack, but I can't remember. Look at this. There he is. Little son of Godzilla. I definitely watched that movie multiple times because it was always on TV. So sick. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Dude, I was in the mid to late 90s, all of the Deeper Underground, that's right. That's the one I couldn't remember. That's a great song. In the mid to late 90s, the fast food marketing was at its absolute peak with movies. You know, you got Taco Bell with that stuff, and then obviously episode 1 was just everywhere. Batman the Animated Series with, I want to say, McDonald's. Ralph said, my dad took me to Godzilla vs. Megalon in the theaters when I was 5, and that's all it took. You know, it's funny. I think I mentioned it. Yeah, I mentioned on the last episode of the podcast that's coming out next week with Dave that my, not Godzilla, but my dad took me to see RoboCop when it came out in theaters, and that's all it took for me. That's awesome. Crystal mugs for Batman Forever. Yes, those two. Yeah. Yep. I see those every once in a while at garage sales. I'm like, no, I'm not buying that shit. Yeah, totally, Tyler. Yeah, because even like the early 2000s was still in Star Wars mode. Yep. That is unfortunately and very true. Very true. Not unfortunately. The reason why the Batman the Animated Series little minifigures stick out to me, because when I was in, I want to say 9th grade, I took a media arts class, and I think it was 9th grade. Maybe it was a little bit later than that. And we had to do like a little short video, and I think the options were like different, but I opted to do a stop motion because we had a camcorder at home, and I filmed like maybe a 15-second Batman the Animated Series with the figures, and it was very crude, but I used the music and all that, and I was like, oh, those figures, yeah, that Happy Meal stuff stuck out my head for that. Oh shit. Oh cool. Mark, I'll have to find those. That's really cool. Ink Pulp, yeah, everybody should be subscribed to Ink Pulp and get in that Discord. It's a great community of people. Dude, Tyler, if I can find it, which I can't imagine that I still have it, my parents might, I'll I can work to digitize it. I mean, it's super crude, but I remember it was like, I can describe it. It was shot in my basement, and I had like blocks, like building blocks as a kid, and I think I had those, you know, like they were in the house until my parents moved. And so I built like a structure, and I used, because I had all the figures, so it was like the vehicles and then the actual standing figures, and it was like all the villains are standing around, and then the Batmobile pulls up, and then I put the Batman figure out, and then like, yeah, I don't know, at one point it I think I didn't do it on purpose, but it looked like he was like bending Catwoman over. I always had a dirty mind, I guess, subliminally. You know, cheesier, I gotta say, I watched the trailer. I love John Romita Jr. and I like, you know, 25% of Mark Millar's output, mostly his earlier stuff with the Marvel going into Kick-Ass and Nemesis and a couple of the other ones. But I watched the trailer for that book, and it was something that Mark Miller said that was like, oh, yeah, this is just going to be garbage. He's like, I wanted to create a boys comic. And I'm like, this is why you have really attracted a lot of the conservative people to you, because you think that we need more macho bullshit comics. Like shit that has been 70 years of it. And it's just like, yeah, this is going to be like violent for the sake of violence. It's probably going to have an ass story, and you're probably going to be able to read it in 15 minutes. I wish them the best of luck. It'll do well. He'll make a shit ton of money. I love that John Romita Jr. is going to get another big ass paycheck because he's John Romita Jr. and he's been creating comics for 40 years. But I'm not gonna buy it. And it's like, oh, I want to, like they're going full out into merchandising. Like this is like the opposite of what creator owned should be like, and should be marketed like, and should be sold on a platform of Kickstarter. This is the opposite of that. They don't need Kickstarter. Mark Miller 100% does not need Kickstarter. He has been working for Netflix and with Netflix for 10, 15 years, whatever it is. Guys like Raymar Brunson, guys like Jim Mafood, like Sean Crystal, like Matteo Scalera. Well, Matteo has made a ton of money with Miller too. But I'm just saying, like, let's get people that really craft comics to be funded by Kickstarter. Yes, it's last Wednesday, already tomorrow. All right, so let's keep looking through this. It's not that I dislike Mark Miller, but a lot of things that he's said and done over the last like 5 years have really rubbed me the wrong way. I like this one with the peach tone, the flesh tone. Speaking of Godzilla new comics, have you seen the mashup? Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen that yet. No, I didn't even know that they were going to do that. I know they're doing all of the Marvel crossovers though. Godzilla against Mechagodzilla 02 is probably still my favorite, but -1 and Shin are up there. I need to watch Shin again, and I want to own it. And I should have just bought the Blu-ray when I was in Japan, but I was afraid that it wasn't going to work on my PS5. I only saw Shin once, and it's just tough to find these movies because I don't think Shin on HBO. Because if it is, I'm watching it tonight. I own 2 copies of Godzilla -1 on Blu-ray, both box sets, like a psychopath. That's why I need to watch it again. I didn't dislike it. I just didn't love it. And I know why I didn't love it. So that's why I want to watch it again. This one's cute because I think that's him. See, like Mechagodzilla bust. Well, it's a 3/4. He's like, wah. This one's dope. See, like this is a different, like these are stylistically 2 different things. Have they ever tried to integrate like Mechagodzilla in the Transformers universe? Because that would be hella dope. I mean, I'm sure Transformers was heavily inspired by this. Is that a song? Or is it... Oh, Bobzilla. Thought that said Batman. I like that I could hear noises from my head. Yeah. Totally can. Damage Plan. Was Damage Plan the... That was like a super group, right? I want to say it was like... Was that Vinnie Paul or Dimebag or a Pantera offshoot? I can't remember. But I feel like that's what it was. He looking athletic there. Oh, okay. Okay. Mechagodzilla transforming into like a fucking tank or some other shit. Yeah, that'd be dope. This is really cool too. Both of these. Okay, it was. Okay, yeah. That's why I remember the name of that band. Rest in peace. I don't know what character this is. Please let me know if you do, but look at that. He's doing Roland Emmerich Godzilla. American Godzilla. Which is just like a T-Rex on steroids. I actually think the design on its own is actually really dope. I wish there was a place we could go to hear you talk more about Godzilla -1. That's true. If you are not familiar with past episodes of my podcast Direct Edition, season 2, season opener, season 2, episode 1, or episode 21, I talk about how Godzilla -1 and Jordan Peele, his film Nope, were heavily inspired by Jaws and all of the homages in Nope and Godzilla -1 to Jaws, down to characters. So another reason to check out Direct Edition. Thank you, Andrew. I appreciate you. It's King Caesar. Okay. Thank you. That's the Zilla from Final Wars. Oh, okay. Oh. Well, see, I'm being schooled on Godzilla tonight, which I'm happy about. It is baffling that is real. And Greg Capullo being the artist, I mean, I'm into it. Somebody left a comment today. Never trust somebody who doesn't like Grant Morrison. I almost commented back, which that person, I understand that, because I know that my criticism of Grant Morrison is not the norm, but I also trust myself. So I almost commented that back. Don't remember the dog creature, but well, he said B. Paul said it was King Caesar. Tyler, I and you know this about me, and I think a lot of you do. I'm hyper. I pay attention to things, like I am hyper attentive, and so I notice a lot of that stuff, and I realized that nobody talked about it. People talked about the similarities between Nope and Jaws when Nope came out, but not down to the molecular level of like the characters. Patrick Tatopoulos design was pretty good, though, even though the film wasn't great. Is that Roland Emmerich's Godzilla you're talking? The scene of him moving through the water and chasing the boat. Oh yeah. Like the first time you kind of see Godzilla when you see him fully grown. Oh, it's amazing. And you know, they homaged it with the dropping the mines into its mouth and then shooting it. I mean, that's literally like saying, "We love you, Jaws." Oh, the American one. Yeah. America, fuck yeah, coming again to save a motherfucking. That song is 10 times more relevant now than it was when Team America came out. See, look at these designs. These designs are a little more kind of gnarly. They're not as clean. Ian, Stan Sakai is somewhere in California in his home. He's somewhere in his home. I don't know. He wasn't supposed to be here today. The interview already happened. It's coming out this weekend. It's interesting because they're doing the thing they did in the 90s crossovers, which is 2 one-shots, one for each. Yeah, because they did that with Batman Punisher. They did that with Spawn Batman. They did that with Batman Spider-Man. I'm into that. I like that. For the love of Paul Stanley, Shattered Miner, and Abanas, these are freaking awesome. There's that Shin, right? Yeah. Or is that Godzilla Bylante? No, that's Shin. That unhinged mouth. It's crazy. Yeah, so it goes, I guess he, you know, like he's doing all of it. You know what's a sad thing? I mean, it's not a sad thing. The current Godzilla verse, I actually enjoy that they're connecting the Kong and Godzilla thing, and then the Monarch show was actually really good. The sad thing is like they don't even have to take the human element out of it, but they needed to cut that stuff down by about 30%. And those movies actually would have been like not perfect by any means, but they would have been like easily rewatchably enjoyable, where like some of it is very much enjoyable to rewatch. And then some of it, I'm just like, can we skip to the destruction part? That's awesome. The radioactive breath scene from Shin and the music absolutely blew my mind. Yeah, I mean, the design of Shin Godzilla is, you know, top tier. We can keep up the Kiss talk in Milwaukee Kiss. I am not a Kiss fan, so we should not keep up the Kiss talk. You guys don't want me to really disappoint you that much. The only thing I'll say about Kiss, Gene Simmons is a piece of shit. We all know that. But Ace Frehley, right? Ace Frehley and Paul Stanley and oh my God. Well, Ace is the real star of that. We all love Ace Frehley. I've seen Ace Frehley play before with Pearl Jam, and it was fantastic. All right, so let's keep going with this. If you know, I don't know some of this stuff, but I can tell you. Well, is that like crazy Ultraman? It's not Ultraman, but it's like crazy Ultraman. I don't know everything. I'm not I'm not a kaiju expert, let's say that. I know what everything looks cool. Thank you, Peter Chris. Thank you. That's Jet Jaguar. Okay, see, I don't know enough. Like I want to be schooled. I want to be told what to watch and when it comes to this stuff. Because I know what I know, but that's all I know. Peter Chris. Kiss the Comics, Howard the Duck. Yep. And then the Blood Ink printing magazine. I go listen to Black Diamond off Alive. Dude, so Sam, you'll appreciate this. 2007 or 2008, I think it was. Pearl Jam was doing 2 nights at the Garden. And I went to both, obviously, because I can't not. And they brought out, I think it was Ace. Yeah, it was Ace. No, it was Peter Chris. And Matt Cameron sung Black Diamond. Or was it Mike that sung Black? Anyway, they played that song and it was cool. I'm not even half potent. I'm not even a potent potable. So yeah, this book is dope and it's huge. I mean, this is what, 200 pages or so. Oh, really? Yeah, it seems like everybody loves Ace. So I'm not ever going to poo-poo Ace. I only poo-poo Gene Simmons. Nobody likes that guy. I mean, it's clear that Gene Simmons doesn't even like Gene Simmons. That's why he's such an asshole. This is so dope. Has anybody ever seen an image like that? A Godzilla skeleton? Was this part of a movie? Did they do this in a movie? This is so cool. So yeah, is that what Chainsaw Man's inspired by? You know what that looks like and reminds me of? Hordak from He-Man. Jet Jaguar, okay. Right? I'd love that original. And then there's a manga in here, and I don't think it's the same artist. It doesn't look anything like it. It's interesting, and I think if you're familiar with a lot of the Japanese magazines, they'll do like I have a Marvel magazine that has a manga. Like they'll put random mangas in books a strip like this, and it'll be completely different than what the rest of the content is, and it's just like, oh, cool, here's an extra story. The Mechagodzilla in 2002 movie was created from the Godzilla skeleton from the original. Oh, that's really dope. See, I didn't know that. Thank you for the info. I don't know if he has a house or something around here, but every year he's spotted somewhere in Buffalo or Niagara Falls. Godzilla. He's talking about Godzilla. Clearly. Oh, unless he was talking about Gene Simmons. But I like to imagine Tyler's talking about how Godzilla has a house in Buffalo. Somebody make that comic. How about Godzilla on an off day? Just doing normal Godzilla things. So yeah, that's what the cover looks like. Like I said, I'll try and find more copies of this, but this was just a random find. Oh yeah, I told you all of the Japanese books have a like something cool in the dust jacket, and clearly this dust jacket is worthy of hanging up on the goddamn wall. But then again, also look at the cover of the book without the dust jacket on it. This image was not in the book. Oh, here you go. So it's Shinji, that's his name, Shinji Nishikawa, or Nishikawa Shinji. So you can follow him on Instagram. He's got a cool account. Oh, look at that. Godzilla in line at the post office. How about Godzilla as a mail carrier? What other I know Andy Brinning said dope shit, but what other, for future, oh, hold on one sec. For future Wednesdays, like chat and chill, what would you like to see me flip through? Weird stuff that you can't find anywhere else. Certain comics, artist editions, photos of me with random musicians and celebrities from my past life as an autograph collector. I don't have too many ladder wizards. Like, I had a stack back a couple years ago in the 100s. But I think I don't have anything like past probably issue 100. Sorry, Derek. I can't take my laptop and show you my fridge. I don't have a fridge, right? I figured you would say that, Tyler. Tyler used to yell at me and say, show some cool shit. I'm like, well, what is it? Looks like that Zilla book goes for 90 to 120 on eBay. If anyone, wow. Yeah, I will tell you this. If I find copies of it, it will be significantly cheaper than that. I bet you do, Bob. You worked in music. Old odd underground comics. Yeah, I can definitely do that. I have something that, since we're talking about music, that I think everybody would like to see. Wouldn't mind an Albedo 2 flip through. Yeah, I just don't know if I want to fuck with it. I had it pressed and cleaned because it has some staple rust, and I wanted to try and clean that up, but I never graded it. Maybe I'll show it next time, but I have a copy of the first Grateful Dead comic that was made and sold in parking lots at shows. It was never published by a publisher. I guess it was fan made by the community. They're out there. They're not super impossible to find, but I do have one of those. But yeah, I have boxes of books, magazines, and then my shelves are covered with that stuff. I'm just trying to think. I've shown my sketchbook off plenty of times, so you guys have a lot of seen that. Sam, yeah, next time I do that, I'll make sure to pull that out. It's in one of a couple of boxes, so if I go look for it now, I might get frustrated that I can't find it. Oh, dude, this is different than those, but yes, those rock and roll drawings, those books are terrible. Most of the celebrity comics are terrible, but you do get some very well-known artists. Jimmy Palmiotti did the Madonna one. I want to say Greg Theakston did a couple, but yeah, for the most part, that shit's terrible. Yeah, it's a janky ass comic, but next time I do this, I'll make sure to pull it out. That's the comic. Ditko stuff, yeah. Like I said, that new collection I got has a lot of Charlton stuff in it. I don't think he did anything for Gold Key, but it's chock full of Charlton and all that kind of stuff. Boy's Life. I'm missing that reference, Bob. I should be getting it, though. I flipped through it, which, that's a stellar art team. It's got the Ballin cover, and was it Dwayne McDuffie? And, who else is on that book? Is Butch Geis on that book? But yeah, that's a special book. I have this awful Jane's Addiction comic. I have the, I wonder if I could find the photo. I don't have it on my computer. It's an old Simon. If you dig through my Instagram, there's an old post that I did where I brought the Pearl Jam and Nirvana comic to the Space Needle. And you know what? Actually, I have it. I have the photo here on my phone. Let me show it. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but no, I don't need the music. I just want the photo. And then because my friends were in town visiting, and we went up to the we went up. They wanted to see the top of the Space Needle, so I brought them up there and took photos of those two books with the Seattle skyline in the background. All right, boys life. The best. Yes, yeah. Sankiewicz did that Jimi Hendrix book. I feel like there's maybe one other, but yeah, nothing tops that. Yeah, that was I like doing that was inspired by my buddy Angel, who does posts where he would take comics to special locations in the Bay Area and then take photos of them. The best one that I ever did, and some of you may never have seen this, but everybody will absolutely appreciate this photo. I just have to find it. If you don't follow me on Instagram, I don't blame you, because it's Instagram, but ASM 252 with the Chrysler building in the background, and I tried to angle it, that one, and then I found the location of the Submariner photo cover, which was on 34th Street, and I tried to recreate that as best as I could. Yes, it's a magazine. I just sold one of those recently. Those oversized magazine ones. The Ozzy one was cool too. All Valiant all the time from now on. Another thing I think would be interesting is see some Jeff Darrow or Mignola stuff. Yeah, I can pull out some Jeff. I have a couple of Jeff sketchbooks that are, that he printed himself. I think you're going to see Jeff Darrow on this channel at the end of the year. That's all I'm going to say right now. I want to see a comic where Dave puts baby powder on his hand and slaps the shit out of Hitler. I would so be into that, George. Somebody do a commission of the Batman Robin thing where I'm Batman and I'm slapping Hitler. Yeah, the Submariner. I thought you'd appreciate that. No, fucking Steve Mazarski and his bullshit. I love that I've gotten to interview some people that worked for Valiant, Bob Hall and Bert Kmart, aka Bart Sears. I mean, I'd love to get Shooter on, but I haven't heard back from him. We had it set up. It was going to happen. And then he got sick last year, and he messaged me, like he emailed me. He's like, I'm in the hospital. He's like, we got to postpone this. And I'm like, totally understand. But then I just feel like he may not be wanting to do interviews anymore. Oddball Mirage stuff. I don't have too much of that. I usually sell it because I don't collect the non-Turtles Mirage stuff, but I'm sure I have some stuff hanging around. Yes. Oh my God, those shows were so great. Me and Jeff talked at Emerald City this year. He knows that I'm having his daughter on, and that we've been talking for a year, me and Alice, and Jeff basically said to me, he's like, when my next book comes out, I'll be happy to come on. So, Jerome, I don't have too much Frazetta stuff. I do have the Art of Frazetta, the white kind of magazine size books, but in the collection that I got with all of the, with all the Bronze Age stuff that I'm talking about, that I'm still editing that video, I found a magazine that's an older magazine that reprints some, I guess, Golden Age Frazetta stuff. I can't remember the name of it. It's in the storage, but it's something I'm happy to flip through before I sell it, because I'm gonna sell it. So, and I don't know if it's a rare thing. I know where it is. That's all I could tell you. Yeah, I love Bart, and having Bart on was great, and having him play along. And then also when I was at OAX this year and we filmed that little short of me filming him with the Turok 1 cover was really cool. I'll have him back on eventually. I just don't know in what context, because it's like, if I can get him on with like a couple other Valiant guys, that could be cool to just talk about it. But yes, I know you love Frazetta. Yes, Sam. He is awesome. It's interesting too, because like he does those originals, and then he does, the books, and like obviously his pencil work and his ink work is insane. But looking at the finished product is just amazing. Is there? I don't know. I do not know, Mark. I couldn't say yes or no. If you say there is, then I am inclined to believe you. And if you don't, then I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Give me one sec, y'all. I just need to check something here. All right. Let's see what we got here. We need a room covered in Turok 1 and Dave in a straitjacket. Or what about a suit made of Turok 1 chromium pieces? And I'm wearing it. Joey Quesadilla. Yeah, actually, I'd love to have Quesada on. I've never talked to him. It's interesting. I like Quesada. I always have. I've always liked his art. And then obviously I love what he did with Marvel Knights and all that. But there are a lot of people that don't like him. It's so funny. I have I have some Mobius stuff, but the thing that I would flip through, because I don't think they ever did a version of it in America, is I think it's 40 Days in the Desert. I forget the number of days in the desert, but I bought a French copy of it, the hardcover, and it's smaller, it's panorama size, but it's really dope. And you don't have to read French to understand really what's going on. Derek, I don't know. I mean, I can have Joe back on. Maybe, I know he's got a Kickstarter, but I could always ask. Joe would come on whenever I ask. Cool cash cover on this religious. Yes, that I know about. I do know the Spire religious comics with Johnny Cash. Probably going to crash out for the night. Sam, appreciate you, my man. Sean Chen, Bart, and Quesada would be a great lineup. Yeah, what about Quesada, Palmiotti, Bart? Was Sean Chen part of Valiant in the early years? I first started knowing who Sean Chen was, I think, from Wolverine. But I mean, having Shooter on would be awesome. Can't talk enough about Darrow. However, something cool that I think would be fun would be comparing Akira and Hardboiled, our cyber. Yeah, they definitely are. Well, because like Cyberpunk really starts, I think, I could be wrong, but I feel like William Gibson's Neuromancer is the beginning of Cyberpunk. And you look at anything after that, and it was definitely inspired. The Matrix was inspired by it. Definitely Akira was inspired by it. Hardboiled, Johnny Mnemonic. So, I don't think that's a bad way to look at it and talking about it. Yes, that's going to happen, Derek. I'll have Wayshak on when Cul-de-sac comes out. And I assume if I reach out to Dinesh, he'll put me in contact with Mike Carey. Maybe we could have both of them on at the same time, Carey and Wayshak. But yeah, Wayshak was on the channel very early on, before I really knew, kind of like, not knew how to talk to people, but knew what I wanted to talk about. And so I'm just waiting, for Cul-de-sac to come out. Okay, so Sean Chen was at post-Unity. Yeah, and I guess Bart Sears starts post-Unity. Or maybe just very pre-Unity, like close to it. PKD, Philip K. Dick. Yeah, well, I think Dick and Asimov would be the architects of what, Gibson is maybe crafting his story from. But those two definitely, Asimov and Philip K. Dick, can be the godfathers of cyberpunk. Yeah, Derek, I mean, I will get a copy of that issue to read before it comes out. I might even be able to get a first two issues from Dinesh, and then I would love to have them both on. Okay, so it's post-shooter, but early enough. Anyone from Lightning Comics? I'm trying to think what Lightning Comics was. I can't remember. Yeah, so it's Bob. What characters were Lightning Comics? Because I feel like I know, but I can't remember. Great early post-rock band called Cul-de-sac. Oh, really? I didn't know that. I mean, that's a there's one of my friends who is a musician named Kevin Devine, who was on Direct Edition. He has a lyric. I forget the full lyric, but he uses the turn of phrase "cul-de-sac the torture," and I'm like, never heard anybody use cul-de-sac as a verb. It's just terrible. Fair enough. Fair enough. How did I just now notice Jar Jar? Misa always there. Misa never going away, sir. I went for a walk today around my neighborhood, and I was wearing this, and there was a couple of people like smiled at me, because generally out here, we, you take note of somebody you walk past, and the couple of people that smiled at me, one of them like looked and like I could see in their eyes that they realized what they were looking at on my shirt. So yeah. For future, I do want to let people know, for friends that are like to buy comics from me, I'm gonna push next week's sale, and we're gonna do Friday night. So next Friday is June. Let me look at the calendar. Next Friday is June 6th. So the next West Coast Wednesday sale will be a West Coast Friday sale on Friday night, June 6th. And I think, I had mentioned that a couple weeks ago that I wanted to do a Friday sale. So, if you're not able to make the Wednesday sales, you've got no excuse on Friday night. We're all home. Nobody's going out on Friday night. You're not 22. So yeah, no, that's what I'm just saying, Rob. Friday night is for the kids. It's for the young people. If you watch my channel, and the analytics tell me that, besides Mattis, you're young. But most of my viewers here are 35 to 45. So you ain't going out on fucking Friday night with the simps. Bloodfire Purg. Jar Jar did save. That's right. He saved Grogu. Friday sales, no sleep till Burien. No sleep till Burien. Yeah, so I'll do a next week's sale. I may do a Wednesday sit down, but I've got some stuff going on this weekend, so I won't be able to prep books for Wednesday. I will work during the week to prep books for Friday. So set your watches, your calendar, tell your wife, your husband, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your cat, your dog, look, next Friday, it's Friday. So yeah, that'll be next week. And then I'll do probably one sale before Heroes. No, it's actually, yeah, it'll probably be before Heroes. And then if you're going to Heroes Con, say hello if you see me. Or if you're like Hooch, take the same flight as me. That's happened before. When I went to OAX, there was a couple people that I know from YouTube that was on the same flight. So yes, slap happy grandpappy. So yeah, that's really what's been going on. But so let me reiterate for those of you that weren't in the chat, I am giving this away when I hit 8,000 subscribers on this channel. We're about 300 away. But you are going to have to do a little promotional work to enter in to win that Todd McFarlane. Commenting on any future YouTube video on this channel or Direct Edition, the podcast, is great. And when you do put a comment on, use the hashtag jazz hands. So, next for the Stan Sakai, whatever you're going to say, this was a great interview, Dave, hashtag jazz hands. So it must be a comment and the hashtag. So you can enter on this channel. You can enter another entry on Direct Edition. Any additional comment or post that you make on a different platform about one of my channels, screenshot it, send it to me, and that's an additional entry. And that's how you're going to be able to get that. Yes. Mid-flight comic swap. I'll bring a Turok, you bring some other book, and we'll swap. I'll walk up to you. We won't say anything. I'll just hand you the comic, and you hand me the other comic. Yeah, Bob, I'm giving that away. So, right, you got to subscribe to Direct Edition Podcast either on Spotify or Apple or YouTube, and you comment on one of those episodes. Basically, anything you do to help me grow, either this channel or that channel or both, will get you an entry. If you comment 6 different videos on this channel, you only get 1 entry. But if you share a video on Reddit or you share a video on Facebook and you send me a screenshot, I'll give you an additional entry. I'm not trying to join the Mile High Club in that way, Armando. So yeah, that's really, I'm just trying to really grow the podcast, because like, as you see with like this past weekend's video with the garage sale, all I had to do was make the right thumbnail and make the right title, and it's now, you know, one of my most watched videos in the last couple of months. Dude, you link it on MySpace and I'll fucking give you, you'll just win that immediately because it's MySpace. I did. I had a salad tonight, Bob. I had a kale, cranberry, almond salad. But nobody gives a shit about that in the algorithm. So what am I going to do? But anyway, Stan Sakai interview drops Sunday morning, 6:30 a.m. Eastern. 6:30 a.m. Pacific, 9:30 a.m. Eastern. The last episode of season 3 of Direct Edition drops Monday morning, probably around, I think I'm moving it up to like 5 a.m. Pacific, 8 a.m. Eastern. My guest is Dave Correa, aka the other Davenger, but one of my favorite artists, super talented human being. You may know him because he co-founded Zero Friends with Alex Pardee. He also just has some great art. He's been on cover artists for heavy metal. Did the album cover for In Flames with the Crow. I have no clue what the name of that album is because I don't. Also did 2 album covers for Rob Sonic. One was called Natural One. No, I'm bad. And Defriender was one of them. Anyway, it's not Lateralis. It's a Tool. So Dave's my final guest of the season on Direct Edition. This season was amazing. Who are my guests? Alex Pardee, Skeem Richards, Sanford Green, Sean Crystal, Jim Ward, co-founder of At the Drive-In and Sparta, Rob Sheridan, who was an awesome interview that was the creative art director and creative director for 9 Inch Nails for 15 years, now working with Pearl Jam. Chris Farron, musician. This week was Liam Finn, another musician. Who am I forgetting? There was maybe one other interviewer or 2 this season. Anyway, super proud I was able to put all that stuff on record and have these great conversations and bring what I feel is a great podcast to everybody out there. So it's also a place for me to just kind of do this without the chat. It's just me kind of talking about things that I appreciate, or I don't do too much controversial shit just to get clicks. But, you know, every once in a while I'll say something like, you know, I talk about how in one of the episodes, there's a lot of people that have ideology, and they try to prop it up with talking about superheroes. And the ideology clashes with what those superheroes symbolize and their creators created them for. Like when you see somebody that's like racist or homophobic or transphobic or, you know, xenophobic, and they're like, oh, but I love the X-Men. I'm like, you don't get it. Like you're missing the entire point of what the X-Men were created for and what they stand for. You're almost like, we should shun people away from the community that are like that unless they're willing to change. Because when you look at who created the X-Men, Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, Fantastic Four, same thing. Or you look at who created Batman, Joe Simon and Jerry Schuster and Simon. These are all people that were either fighting in the war, children of immigrants that escaped the Holocaust, people that escaped the Holocaust themselves. And I don't think it's like what I'm saying is a hot take or controversial, but to some morons in the community, and there are a lot of people that like comics that have that are vocal and have big channels that are like this. They're, and it's like you're either saying it just to get clicks, which is sad because like if your life is based around pretending to be something so people hate you, so you gain more money, like you're no better than the president, you're no better than a fucking Elon Musk, like you're no better than these people. I try to be the person who's like, nah, I ain't doing that. I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel, and I'm going to kind of stick to the right side of history. But that's like, sometimes I go off on those rants on the podcast, and sometimes I don't. Sometimes I talk about ticket prices for concerts and how I'm not trying to back the capitalist bullshit music industry. I'd rather support musicians directly. I love the people that are like, keep politics out of comics, Star Wars, etc. Do you seriously lack media comprehension? I mean, you know what it is? I think it's a twofold thing, Tyler. I think it's the comprehension, like literal, like comprehension of people in this country has like, it's just gone down. But I also feel like there are people that are like, I like the laser swords. It makes me not think about anything. And it's like, cool, but don't pretend like it's your thing then that you identify with if you can't understand it. The new Superman is woke. I mean, woke and cheesier and Bob, like, that's the thing, right? Like woke as a term makes no sense anymore, the way that people use it as a derogatory term. It's like when somebody uses it, I'm just like, oh, you don't really understand where that comes from. But just activism in general, people call that woke, and it's like, okay, I'm just down for like people having equal footing in this world. I know my privilege, but at the same time, like, I know the struggle of my great grandparents and, people that raised my parents that had to escape things that I wouldn't exist if they didn't escape. Yes. Yeah. And like, it's the same thing. And this is, a topic you can say in the music community is a huge thing. In the art community is a huge thing, but comics specifically are, we are so lucky to have had, at this point, 100 years of history in comics and so many great stories being told and so many great characters being created to be the vehicle to tell that story. And I think keeping the message of what comics is for is just as important as creating the comics themselves. Like, if we lose sight of what Claremont did with God Loves, Man Kills, if we lose sight of what Jack Kirby did with pretty much every character that he ever put down, or Stan Lee, or if we lose it, if we lose the message, even if he wasn't purposefully trying to do it with Todd, of creating a black superhero and not really focusing on, I created a black superhero, he just did, and not taking credit for it. But the fact that he was able to kind of flawlessly get this character into the mainstream, and nobody propped him up for doing it, but nobody actually did anything to say like, oh, you're just woke, and how he's, yeah. To conservative nutcases, woke just means acknowledging the existence of women in African. That's sad but true. A superhero created by two Jewish men in the middle of World War II that fought abusers and oligarchs in first appearance of, yeah. How could this be? Superman. Leo said, I grew up in Appalachia. Comics and Star Trek helped me as a kid to understand there are people other than me that are just fine. I don't have to agree with everyone to like them. There we go. I mean, and Star Trek, which I'm not a Star Trek fan. I'm not a hater, but I'm not well versed in it aside from like kind of the main movies. but yeah, that cast, I mean, the cast was extremely diverse and everybody loved them. I mean, Star Trek is like kind of the archetype for that kind of group of people doing a thing that's humanitarian, and everybody kind of loves them, and they all have their own love from different people, loved certain characters. But you said Star Trek, and Tyler mentioned Star Wars. I mean, if Andor has taught us everything, it's that some people just straight up don't fucking understand Star Wars. They just straight up do not understand what Star Wars is about, and why the Empire will always and forever be the evil empire. There is no looking, like, you could say, okay, the joke is like Luke and Han and Leia are a bunch of terrorists. But what Andor showed us is like, look how terrible, really terrible the Empire is. And even if you were working for the Empire, what your fate would eventually be. Like certain characters at the end that don't die, but they don't get a happy ending. Comics are literally a window into the world in a medium that draws a myriad age demographics. We fall into them as kids. We begin to see society in them as teens, and adults completely understand them. Bob, couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you for that. Kirby made the first mainstream black character a king. Yep. T'Challa. And it was right. That's the thing. Like, I got to Andy, speaking of what I'm about to talk about, OAX, Khazra. Yes, they're called stormtroopers. So are the Nazis. Yeah, I got to see that some of the pages from that first Black Panther, appearance, and it's like Kirby's a perfect example, and you guys are going to hear some good Kirby stories in the Stan Sakai interview, but he's a perfect example of somebody that was just looking at the world and creating what he wanted to see and what he felt and the human that he was. And without him, and Stan Lee, Stan Lee gets the credit too. Who knows? Who knows what comic books would be if those two did not get together and create what they create? And same goes for Ditko, and the same goes for, you could say, Buscema and Romita, and like Marie Severin and John Severin. But it's really obviously what Jack and Stan created with the X-Men and the Fantastic Four as teams of people coming together and what they were fighting and what they were escaping. And, I think Claremont obviously took yes, Mouse should be required reading. And, it's no wonder that they banned shit like that in Florida. But you look at, it was the second Black Panther appearance. You're right. That's right. It was the second appearance. I gotta pretend like, what's that called? You retcon me, but I retcon you. You retcon me, I retcon you, and I dub the Black Panther. But anyway, what Claremont did with the X-Men, he took this thing and just ran with it. And, some great stories in there. Fortunately, Mouse is banned in several schools and a PBS doc. Yes. Really? That I didn't know about. Yeah, because the government wants to defund public broadcasting system. Fucking twats. That's it. Andor fleshed out the actual universe. Yeah, because look at when we watch Star Wars as kids, you see the Empire blow up a planet, which it holds weight, but it doesn't. As a kid, it didn't mean what it does today for me, clearly. As a kid, you're just like, oh my God, he blew up a planet. And you're more focused on the fact that Princess Leia is absolutely upset. And it's like the death of a million. What is it? It's the death of one is a tragedy, and the death of a million is just a statistic. What is that? Who said that? Marx? But anyway, you get to see how evil the Empire is, but not in the way of the ground level story, which is what Andor is. And a ground level story, it's why we love stuff like Daredevil. It's why we love stuff like Luke Cage. It's why we love stuff like Batman, in a sense, Spider-Man, in a sense. But getting to see it in a ground level story is really what hits home. And that's why Andor was so good. I send mouse to people I've only met online that aren't really into comics. Yeah, I think that's a beautiful thing to do, and I think that's like Cheesier said, Cheesier said, or whoever said it. It's required reading. It was Stalin. Yeah, there we go. It was Stalin. Did I just quote Stalin? I'm talking about like anti-fascism. Rob, I don't think we overthink it enough. Overthinking it is, I think, if we were talking theories, I think it's overthinking it. But when we're talking about symbolism, I don't think you can overthink it too much, especially with a show like Andor. I mean, if you want to overthink somebody, you can overthink him. But I accidentally just, well, whatever. There goes Dave quoting Stalin again. I mean, look, terrible people have said things that are worth quoting. Jeffrey Dahmer, for example. That was tasty. A terrible person, but a great quote. Andor offered a lot of clarity. Yes. Right, because, yeah, I got nothing else to say. And Star Wars, the original trilogy, is such a great story, but we're focusing on the main stars. We're focusing on the main characters of the entire story. Whereas Andor, you're in a macro level. Even though it's a great micro story or whatever. Who else should I quote? No, I think I'll just stick to those two. I don't think I'm going to put my foot too far in my mouth. Especially because, I'm not that hungry. So I think we'll cut it here, an hour and 45 minutes. But before we get going, as a white man once said, Star Wars was created by George Lucas' desire to imprison a dwarf. Oh man. Is that from Mallrats? So yeah, before we get going, this weekend the Stan Sakai interview drops, and there will be a bonus portion of that interview available on Direct Edition, 4th season episode coming in June. And I'm giving away that Spider-Man. All you have to do is the next comment that you leave on one of my YouTube videos or on Direct Edition, add the hashtag jazz hands. No, my pal Tom. And if you want to promote the show, if you want to post an episode on Reddit or Facebook or one of the other social medias, send me a screenshot, and that'll also be an entry. You can enter, you can post on 3 different social medias and get 3 different entries, and then comments on Direct Edition YouTube, and right here on West Coast Davengers, you'll get 2 more entries. I'll be posting about this, so you'll see it. He said something in Gungan, I know it, but I appreciate everybody being here. Don't forget to hit the like button tonight on the stream so that more people see it. And then somebody yells at me for my, he spoke, because you can't really offend me like that. Excalibur, Excelsior. I don't know what's happening, but I appreciate everybody. As always, it's great to have these chats, and if I could do this every day, I would, but I can't because I got to do other things. I got to work. Anyway, thank you all for showing up. Hit the like button, subscribe to Direct Edition. It's on Spotify, it's on Amazon, it's on Apple, and it's got its own YouTube channel. I promise you, if you enjoyed tonight, you'll enjoy the podcast. And thank you, everybody. Have a great week. Have a great weekend. I am very much a talker, and I never stop talking. And I'm okay with that. Thanks, everybody, for stopping by. Hit the like button on the way out. And go buy some comics from your LCS this week. Support them. Peace.